In this video, I will take you through how to create a red, amber, green matrix report using SQL Server reporting services for Dynamics CRM. So in the example we've got here, we've got three different entities involved: projects, deliverables, and project deliverables. And there's a many-to-many relationship between projects and deliverables, and that is the project deliverables entity. Our grid here that we want to show is basically a red, amber, green grid, where each down the side we have the projects, across the top we have our deliverables, and the grid just shows based on the status of each of the project deliverables. The cell is highlighted in either green for complete, red for not started, and amber for in progress. So what we're looking at here is actually the finished product, and you'll notice that you can actually drill into each of these projects by just clicking on the project name. We can also drill into the deliverables, and we can also drill into each of the specific project deliverables. So this should bring us up this particular deliverable here should bring us up the heritage notification for the Blue Bay project. So you can see here the project is Blue Bay, the deliverable is heritage notification, and it has not started yet, so this cell is in red on our RAG matrix. Before we get into the details of how we're going to develop this report, first of all I'd just like to talk about what the advantages of this matrix is. The customer was capturing this information initially in Excel when there was only a small number of projects that they were working on, but they decided to move it to Dynamics CRM so that they could have a proper system for tracking this information. And what the customer liked about the matrix grid that they had created themselves in Excel is they could quickly look and see which projects had a lot of red, or which deliverables had a lot of red. So when they look here, they can very quickly tell that they have on the commercial fisheries agreement, there's a lot of red in this column, so they know they're having problems getting agreement with this particular project deliverable. And they can also see that on the Tall Mountain project they're green the whole way across, which means they've basically got all the deliverables complete. So when we initially created this solution for the customer in CRM, we created a nice red, amber, green chart based on the status, which basically let them drill into which project deliverables were complete, in progress, or not started. And while they liked this, they preferred their matrix, which let them see very quickly at a high overview which projects or which deliverables were complete and which ones they were having trouble with. Okay, so let's get into the report. Okay, so I'm going to go to my solution view here in CRM, and I'm just going to create a new report. I'm creating a new report in the solution because it's the easiest way to get the fetch XML generated for this particular report. So I'm just going to go to the report wizard, new report. Okay, so this is on the project deliverables entity, and we've given it a name of project deliverables red, amber, green. I'm going to go with no filter, and I'm going to select here the fields that I need for this report. So the project deliverable name, the project, the deliverable, and also I'm going to pick the status field, the status reason field, because this is what drives whether our field is red, amber, or green, the status reason of the project deliverable. Great. So I'm just going to download a copy of this report. And I'm going to come over here to my currently existing reporting services project for this particular solution, and I'm going to add the report that I just downloaded. And open it up. Okay, so we don't necessarily want all this these fields that are on this report. So I'm just going to actually delete everything off it. Okay, and delete the footer. Great. And it's a matrix that we want on this report, so I'm going to drag the matrix control onto the page. Great, so I need to set the dataset name is the dataset that came down with the report, and I need now to set my row and column grouping. So I want the projects to be down the left hand side, and I want the deliverables to be across on the column headings. And basically I can populate the data field now whatever I want, with whatever I want to populate it with. I could pick the owner, the person that owns this project deliverable, but in my case here I'm going to use this the name of the deliverable. Okay, I'm just going to delete this heading here, and I'm going to preview the report. Okay, so what we've got here is our matrix, and as we can see we've got the projects down the left hand side, the deliverables across the top, and the name of the project deliverable shown up in each one of the cells then. So to take this report a little bit further, I'm just going to bold the column and row headings, and I'm going to set the background colors of each of these cells to be red, amber or green based on the status. So we just go ahead and do that. I'm just going to bold them. Okay, so on the cell so the background color, I'm going to choose an expression, and I've just some snippets that I've ready here in this notepad file. So I'm going to use a switch statement here. If the status value doesn't contain any value, leave it blank. If it's equal to status value is equal to 2, so complete, I'm going to go green. Otherwise, if it's equal to in progress, orange, otherwise make it red. So I'm just going to test out my report here now again. Great, so I can see I've got the red, amber, green shown up on these. I'm just going to set the background color to be white on the cell itself. Great. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to do is I'd like to make all these clickable so that it'll pop out either the project deliverable or the project deliverable record when I click on it. So I'm just using here's some pre-canned links that I have set up for this. So this is for the project, and on that particular cell I'm going to add a new on-click action of go to URL. There we go. I'm going to do the same on the deliverable. So another on-click action of go to URL. And the same on each of the individual cells. Okay, now we can't actually test this out until we import it back into CRM. We can't actually test this in the preview mode for reporting services. Okay, so we're going to actually go and import this report now back in. We're going to change this an existing file and we're going to browse for it. Great. Okay, so there's our report. I'm just going to click on one of the projects. I just clicked on one of the deliverables there on one of the projects to ensure that it's actually opening up the records. And let me just open up commercial fisheries agreement on Blue Bay here as well. Okay, so perfect. So I can drill into any one of these deliverables, drill into any one of these projects, or drill into any one of these project deliverables from the dashboard here, or from the report here. So that's great. I'm just going to close this down. And I'm going to go back to my main screen. And I can see now that I can run this report from the project deliverable screen. So that's all records run report. That would be a handy way for the users to come in and be able to run this. But my user wanted it to be his default landing page. So I decided that I would update the sitemap to put the report as a clickable item just above the projects entity here within the project management area, navigation area. So I'm going to pop across here to the sitemap editor tool, and I'm going to add a new sub area. So I need to give it the URL to my report in here. I'm also going to give it a default icon, and I'm going to give a name to this new navigation item as well. So for the URL, I can just pop back across to my solution, open up the report, and choose the copy a link item from the action. And I'm just going to paste this in here. And I can see in here that on this query string parameter, here's the ID of my report. Just going to cut this and paste it in here. So this is the URL we need for our report. Just going to copy that out. Okay, so I also want an icon to show up for this report, and I'm going to use the dashboard icon. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to add a title for this of dashboard, and I'm going to update the sitemap. Actually, I should also move this up higher. I want to move it above the project and the deliverables items that are here, so I'm just going to move it up and update the sitemap. Great, now if I refresh my page, I can see that I have a new item here called dashboard, just above the projects and the project deliverables, which is my report directly available from the navigation structure, which is just what my end user wanted, because he wanted to be able to set his default landing page as this particular report, and now he should be able to drill into each one of his project deliverables here. So that is it. That concludes our how to create a red, amber, green matrix using reporting services with Dynamics CRM.